Puzzles might look like a lazy Sunday activity, but behind every satisfying snap of a piece falling into place is a complex process of design, cutting, and packaging. At Buffalo Games, the largest puzzle maker in North America, that process runs around the clock to produce millions of puzzles each year. Today, we're heading inside their factory to see how puzzles are actually made, from the first sketch to the final seal on the box. Part 1. Designing the puzzle. It all begins with the image. Buffalo Games has a team of full-time designers who sketch original artwork or adapt famous pieces into formats that make for a fun and balanced puzzle experience. That often means tweaking color contrast, adjusting layout, or adding small elements to break up visually repetitive sections. For instance, a painting by Charles Wysocki might gain an extra sailing ship in the background or an anchor on the shore to avoid large patches of solid color. Once the image is finalized, designers overlay a digital cut pattern to simulate how the puzzle will break into pieces. Every piece must be unique in shape, and every section of the image must feel solvable. Even a 1,000-piece puzzle means 1,000 distinct cuts. Designers manually inspect each cut shape to make sure it's not too similar to another, and that it locks tightly for that satisfying click. Some puzzles even get tested digitally, with simulated solves that help the team identify overly difficult or repetitive areas. Each puzzle is meant to provide small victories throughout the process, so designers think about color distribution, texture changes, and image composition just as much as piece shapes. The goal is always to keep people engaged and entertained from start to finish. Part 2. Printing and mounting. With the design approved, it heads to a professional printing facility in Canada. There, the puzzle image is printed onto large, high-resolution sheets. These prints are vibrant, durable, and designed to maintain color over time. The printed sheets are then glued onto a thick puzzle board using industrial adhesives. This puzzle board is made from recycled paper fibers and is designed for just the right balance of stiffness, weight, and resistance to warping. After gluing, the boards are pressed and stacked, then left to cure for several days so the adhesive fully sets. Curing is critical. If the glue is not fully dry, it can compromise the quality of the cut and reduce the strength of each puzzle piece. Once cured, the mounted boards are trimmed and packaged for shipment to Buffalo Games' main factory. Part 3. Cutting the puzzle. Now comes the slicing. Each mounted board is placed into a hydraulic press fitted with a custom steel die. This die acts like a giant cookie cutter, with hundreds or thousands of razor-sharp blades shaped exactly like the puzzle layout. With one press, the die slices cleanly through the board and image. The blades are arranged by hand and adjusted to ensure each puzzle piece will be distinct, solvable, and satisfying to snap into place. The dies themselves require maintenance. Over time, the pressure from the presses can dull the blades, so they're regularly inspected and replaced as needed. After each cut, leftover scrap is automatically trimmed and blown into a recycling bin. The individual pieces fall into a bin below, where they are separated and boxed up. A real-time camera system inspects the cut as it happens, ensuring every piece has been cleanly separated and no edges are bent or damaged. This automated inspection system can flag even tiny errors, prompting workers to pull the puzzle for rework before it moves forward. Part 4. Box manufacturing. While the puzzle pieces are being cut, another part of the factory handles box manufacturing. A machine cuts and scores thick cardboard into flat box blanks. Each blank is printed with the puzzle's image, title, branding, and other essential details like the piece count and recommended age range. Boxes are folded into shape automatically, and their flaps are glued shut with high-speed applicators. Once folded, they're dried, stacked, and moved to the packaging line to meet up with the matching puzzle pieces. Part 5. Packaging and sealing. At the packaging station, workers fill recyclable plastic bags with puzzle pieces, carefully weighed to ensure that the correct number of pieces is inside. For example, every 1,000-piece puzzle must contain exactly 1,000 pieces. Weight checks are surprisingly accurate, and even a single missing piece can trigger a recheck. Each bag of pieces is dropped into the corresponding box, and an instruction slip or promotional insert is sometimes included. The boxes are then sealed shut with tamper-proof tape or shrink wrap. Once closed, the box is passed through an automatic case packer. This machine organizes the boxes by design and loads them into larger corrugated cases for shipping. These are then sealed, labeled, and stacked onto pallets. Part 6. Warehousing and shipping. Completed puzzles are moved to a massive warehouse just across the street. At any given time, more than 400,000 puzzles are stored there, waiting to be shipped to stores like Walmart, Target, Amazon, and Barnes & Noble, as well as hundreds of independent retailers across the US and Canada. Orders are packed and shipped daily, with pallets loaded into trucks bound for distribution centers. Inventory is constantly rotated to make room for new releases, seasonal collections, and special promotions. During periods of high demand, like holidays or unexpected surges in interest, the factory shifts into overdrive. In 1 year alone, Buffalo Games launched more than 500 new puzzle designs to meet demand, more than double their typical output. That level of production takes coordination, speed, and a lot of creative brain power. Part 7. Quality control. Throughout the entire process, quality control is critical. From glue curing to cutting accuracy, every step is monitored. Designers work closely with the cutting team to ensure that image details are not awkwardly split between pieces, and that edge pieces fit securely and consistently. Puzzle boards are inspected for defects, printing is checked for color consistency, and the final assembled product is sometimes tested manually. In some cases, puzzles are fully assembled on site to make sure the image looks as it should and no mistakes slip through. Even the bagging process is checked. Random box samples are opened and counted to ensure accuracy. Buffalo Games also keeps samples from each production batch so that customer complaints or issues can be traced back and reviewed. Part 8. The Puzzle Legacy. Jigsaw puzzles have been around since the 1760s. They began as hand-cut wooden maps used to teach geography, but over the centuries evolved into one of the most beloved forms of indoor entertainment. By the early 20th century, puzzles became a common sight in households across Europe and North America. During hard times like the Great Depression or global lockdowns, puzzles found a resurgence as an affordable and calming escape from stress. Their appeal spans generations. Children can learn pattern recognition and motor skills. Adults use them for mindfulness and focus. Families bond over late-night sessions around the dining table. Buffalo Games continues this legacy with designs for every taste and fandom. Whether it's a cozy country scene, a famous piece of art, or a puzzle featuring characters from Star Wars or Marvel, every box starts with a sketch, a die, and 1,000 tiny decisions. So the next time you crack open a fresh box and flip over those first pieces, remember, what looks like a simple pastime is actually the product of serious craftsmanship, precise engineering, and a factory built for fun.